Hey everybody, this is Mark with Mark's Home Hobbies. How you guys doing today? I'm doing just fine. Doing a little bit of work down in the pits as usual, and I made a few parts and made a few discoveries and a few observations, and I thought you guys might be interested in hearing about it. So anyways, as I discussed in a prior video, I did receive the WLtoys Metal Gear set in the mail. And you can see some of the gears there. There's the old plastic one. There's an old drive shaft, and there's a new drive shaft right there. And yeah, there's some pinion gears, and there's an old pinion gear right there. And the rest of the metal parts. First off, let me tell you, the Metal Gear set, I might have to say, give it a second thought before you run out and purchase it thinking that it's something that's going to change your life. It's not. More so, it's going to create you more headaches because this drive shaft right here is slightly smaller diameter than the stock. I'll see if I can get the two together here so you can see the difference. Yeah, it's slightly smaller. So the effect of that is that for those of you thinking that you'll be able to use the standard drive shaft in the metal pinion gear, well, you can, but this is what will happen. You will end up messing up your metal pinion gear because of the different size diameter, although it looks very close and it looks very deceiving that, like the normal ones, if you push it hard enough it will go on. With this one here, it does not go on. Rather, it will destroy the aluminum. So therefore, since that is the long pinion gear that I need to run the 98-inch wheelbase, I am back down to the 94-inch wheelbase. I'll get to the car in a minute. It does come with two different sizes of the drive gear here. This is the smaller of the two. I'm running a slightly larger pinion. That's the smaller gear that would go on the four-wheel drive, and you can, if you can see that, I don't know if you can really get that in focus there, but the shape is not a half-round circle. It's more like a circle with two flats. And if you look at the end of this, it's the same thing. It's more of a circle that's been ground down on the opposite side too. So very interesting that, so now I'm left with basically, well, this is a piece of plastic that goes over there. So I'm basically left with this other pinion here that is the front pinion. And then I've got the other pinion, which is the smaller of the two that have the ground end on there. I have that installed in the car, and yeah, after fighting me for half a day, I finally got it to work. So if you're thinking about buying that kit, yeah, unless you plan on fiddling around with the thing a lot and trying to figure out how to make it work, trying to make it work successfully, yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that. I can't really advise to do it. Although the metal gears seem like a good idea, and they weren't that expensive, so no great loss, I guess, if you don't use them, but still, it could do a better job on making sure that the parts are compatible 100% if you're going to advertise these as a replacement for the WLtoys K9x series, we'll just call it, okay, because it'll go for the 969 or the 989. But if you're going to advertise this Metal Gear set as a replacement, then make sure that the drive shaft is the same size as the original drive shaft, because otherwise you're going to have problems, because this drive shaft will rattle in the motor bearing that's in the motor mount, in the bearing carrier thing there. This will rattle inside of that little bearing because it's a different size than the original. So yeah, be prepared for all that, and it will cause gear problems and all kinds of good stuff like that. On to the next issue. Now here's some differentials. Yeah, those are all blown out differentials because of the brushless motor. You can see that one, there's a ball diff, and the teeth are literally ground right off. And they were all set up good. I set the gear lash up, and they all had diff grease on them. This is a standard diff out of a K9x9, which has little gears inside of it, which are messed up. This is a lock differential from the 969, where the differential gears right over here on the main gear teeth are just destroyed. And this one here, same thing. This is one that's destroyed also. So yeah, make sure you buy a lot of diffs if you got a brushless motor. Okay, on to the next issue. Batteries. I don't know about running these batteries because, you know, like, they're great batteries and everything if you're going to run the stock configuration of the WLtoys K9X series. They're great. You can buy bigger amperage ones and everything. These batteries are basically the same amperage as those, but they have a 25C rating. I don't know if that's any better, but these are drone batteries, high performance drone batteries. They have a little bit thicker wire up here, so they can deliver amps a little bit better than these can. Not much, but a little bit. I think any little bit helps. The only problem with this battery is the thickness, and where that lies is you have to elevate everything on the car if you want to use this battery, because it has to go in long ways, or I mean along the sideways of the car like that. Like if this is your car, it would have to be on the chassis like that. You could put it like this, but I think it would be more effective, and I see more cars using them as this configuration here. Okay, so let's get that straight first. Throw it out there on the Super G replica track and see what we can do. So far I'm really liking this track. It's really a test of skill rather than just go balls out and burn out. So I'm really liking it. If you guys like it, leave a comment, okay? When I do my video, I can't even talk today, too much work. When I do my giveaway, I think what's going to happen is that I'm going to tell everybody to make a comment. And when that 100 subscriber comes, those who make the best comments on that video that gets to the 100 subscriber, I'm going to choose the best comment out of it all that describes or catches something, you know, like rings true with me. I'm going to pick the best comment on a 100 subscriber video, and that's going to be the person that wins the giveaway. And I'll make arrangements with that person to get them their prize. Hey everybody, this is Mark with Mark's Home Hobbies. How you doing? Beautiful evening here in southern lower Michigan. What you're looking at is the WLtoys K9x9 modified rear wheel drive in one of its states. It's another piece of art. It's been referred to as a piece of art by one of my viewers. Certainly does look that way. I'll take you in pretty close here. You can see what's going on. There's a metal gear down in there. Size anyways. Yeah, there's a rear motor mount on there that raises the motor up like that. I made that on the 3D printer. Yeah, turned out pretty good. I also made this servo mount so that the battery can mount right up in here. And yeah, it's not, I still got to make a couple of pieces yet, but the battery stays in there pretty tight. It gets wedged underneath there pretty good. Another thing, we got the steering arms on there, or, you know, control linkage and all that I made on the 3D printer. They actually snap into place even. Pretty nice. Yeah, and so you can see there's just a little bit of toe out. The steering angle's okay. I'll work on it. Eventually I'll get it just right to where it works just fine. I've created another piece too. I'll unveil that one in another video when I install it. Here's the 18 amp Rocket brushless speed controller. I got some double-sided tape down on the chassis down here. You can't really see it, but that's protecting it from shorting out against the chassis. Interesting thing I found about this new setup that's on here. If you come right here in the very middle of the car, I have the battery plugged in, but I can still get to it from this side. If you pick it up right here, now there's a motor wire soldered onto the motor right here, so you can see where my hand is picking up the car right here at this point. Now if you see, that's where the weight distribution lies, just like that. Okay, so now if I go 1/16 of an inch farther up the wire and I hold it, now that's not a good representation. Well, you can see now if I just grab it just that little bit further forward, the car is almost balanced right here at this point, which is pretty close to the middle of the car. I'm going to say maybe a little bit biased towards the rear, just a little bit. So I think that's going to work pretty good. Let's take another shot from the top here. Yeah, I think it looks pretty sweet. And I chose a different way of mounting the servo than the other way. I redesigned the mount and reprinted it, and that gives a nice low height. I don't know if the Copo Camaro body is going to work on it. Those low bodies like that, very difficult to work with. You usually have to run them up a little bit off the ground. Whereas the Porsche body, once I put that on, I'll be showing a video of the car in action very shortly here. I know everybody's probably anxious to see it run. If you've been watching these videos, you probably want to see it now that it's in a semi-completed state. I do too. So anyhow, hey everybody, this is Mark's Home Hobbies. Here's the K9x9 rear wheel drive modified with the body on it. Yeah, it looks alright, I think. I would like to get another body for it. I liked running that Copo Camaro on there, but yeah, it is what it is at this point. So just thought I'd show you this since I just got it all back together again. Yeah, it might not look like this next time you see it. So yeah, she'll probably scoot around the floor pretty good, I'd say. What would I know? I don't know what a proper drift car is anyway. So anyways, hope you had fun. This is Mark with Mark's Home Hobbies, and see you in the next one.